Sup, surgical player. This is Tumelo from Surgical Pickup, and in today's video, myself and Gabriel Grey speak at a surgical seminar for some of our surgical players out there, and we actually dig deeper into the three main areas that guys are not focusing on in their overall journey of game, and that's actually stopping them from achieving their ultimate goals in pickup, okay? And if you are at that point in your game where game is becoming so difficult for you, or you're just facing so many obstacles in this journey, you're finding yourself lost in this entire journey. You started because you wanted one thing, and now it's just like you're so lost, you don't know what's going on, you don't even know what you want anymore, or you're just lacking the motivation to go out and push through and take yourself to the next level, and you just don't understand who you're trying to become in this journey, okay? If that's you, then you better tune into this video, because myself and Gabriel Grey actually dig deeper and we actually help you to solve those problems, okay? So make sure you watch, you like, you comment, you hit that subscribe button, you also hit the notification bell, and also make sure that you subscribe to Gabriel Grey's YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to put the link right over there. Click on that I, Gabriel Grey Surgical Pickup. Also hit subscribe, hit the notification bell in his channel so that you can always get all the amazing videos and content that Surgical Pickup is going to be flooding to your YouTube, okay? Watch the video, enjoy it, and as always, stay surgical.
Let me just ask you guys, who has been going out consistently to work on their skill sets according to what they think is consistent? Okay. Who has struggled to go out at all? Whatever the reason or excuse is, that doesn't matter. Who has struggled? Okay. Half put his hands up. Okay. Who feels like they're struggling with, let's say, commitment, willpower when it comes to this stuff? Okay. And who believes that they have no issues at all? They on the process. Doesn't mean that their game's good, but they're on the process. They know what they need to do, and okay, good stuff. Did you put your hand up for anything?
I did.
Okay, maybe all five of them.
Those are the bad things.
Awesome. So basically, talking about lots of people put up their hand for, what does it say? I think the willpower one. Just put your hands up again. Willpower. You're struggling with willpower, commitment. Okay, so let's just tackle a few of these things. Then we're going to get into open questions. Okay, so I think the commitment to this process, like for me, it's all of this stuff. Like everyone just comes to seminars and all of these things. And again, what is a seminar? It's basically just this oomph of emotions. It's like, yes, I'm coming here, I'm part of the community, this is epic stuff, but tomorrow, like the seminar's over, and then it's just like you go back to your old habits. That's why all of this, it's crazy how these seminars developed, also like the Anthony Robbins type seminar, where it's just a pump, emotional pump, and people feel really, really good, but then nothing actually, there's no changes that actually happen. So again, for me, it all comes down, all this commitment and motivation, it all just comes down to why you want to do this in the first place. Like if there's no strong enough reason to why you want to get these results and why you want to take action, I would just argue just don't do it. Like I always give people the truth, like rather just don't waste your time doing pickup. Okay, so to me, it's like understanding the reason. So all of you guys need to have clear reasons of why you want this. And even if it's superficial, even if it's, I want to sleep with 100 girls, okay? Like who the fuck am I to judge your goals? It could be non-superficial, I just want to be a better version of myself, I want to be happier, more free, ability to be unstifled, socialize easily, but no one is here to judge your goals, but you have to have something, okay? And I see it over and over, where every country I go to, guys just don't have this clear vision of why they're in the game to begin with. Okay, they just don't have it. And if you don't have that, the first hurdle you get to, the first issue that comes across, you get a bit tired, exams come, work happens, then you stop gaming for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, okay? Because your reason has to be bigger than your issue, okay? Your reason why you're doing this has to be bigger than your issue, okay? So again, like just off the top of your head, we don't have to answer, but who believes that they have a strong reason in their mind. Again, superficial or non-superficial. Okay? Put up your hand if that reason just came to you now in the last 2 minutes. So, who of you feel that this reason is really driving you? Don't delude yourselves, it's really pushing you. Okay, a few of you. And to me, it's when you zone in on this reason and then you still don't take action, then the reason isn't strong enough. Okay, my reason in the beginning of game was very superficial and only superficial. That's it. It wasn't about fucking being a better person or being more confident. No, it was nothing to do with that. It was being the best at pickup that I can be. It was getting as many girls. It was impressing my friends as much as I can. Okay, it's a dirty reason. You don't want that longer term, but that's what inspired me to go out 7 nights a week for years. Eventually, I needed a new reason because I lacked the motivation. And then I realized, okay, I need to now put in the reason now I have is to be the best version I can be. I know that a year ago, I was a little bit worse. I was a little bit less cocky, a little bit less of a leader, a little bit less assertive. So I know that the only changes is if I keep gaming, I'll keep getting those 1% improvements. But what I'm saying is you guys need to have your specific reason, okay? And again, when people talk about willpower and motivation, commitment, to me it's all these fancy, nice words for basically saying you don't have a strong enough reason for why you're actually doing this, okay? If you don't have a reason, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. It's not so cool just to be in this community. It's most people get pride to say oh, I'm in this underground society that everyone, I'm different, I'm unique, I'm in this underground society. Okay, but that doesn't mean you're going to get results. Okay, so, tell me if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's basically how bad do you want this? Okay, and unfortunately for most guys is they don't want it bad enough. For me, when I got into game, I was motivated by pain, okay? I had no girls in my life, all my friends were getting chicks, and I just got to a point where I was just fuck, there's nothing else I can do. I have to get this part of my life handled. So when I got into game, I was motivated by the chicks. I wanted to get as many girls as I can, okay? I had to catch up with all the lost years that I had, and that was my motivating factor, okay? Get as many chicks as I can, get the skills, the tools, the resources in order to get the goals that I haven't been getting most of my life. And then recently, over the past year, that reason started to change, especially after I came back from Barcelona, after I had such an epic trip in Barcelona. I came back to South Africa and I just started having thoughts about why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I walking around 7 nights a week, fucking walking, doing laps like a madman? And my reason started to change, and it's because I started achieving the goals that I wanted. Okay, I started getting the goals that I wanted that I couldn't get before, and now that motivation wasn't there. And recently, just literally beginning of this year or end of last year, I had a proper burnout, and again it was why the fuck am I fucking doing this shit? And I had to literally sit down with myself, and exactly what Gabriel said is, why are you doing this? Okay? And for me, it's not about, okay, I want to get 1,000 girls and all that shit. My reasonings changed, my why changed. Okay? I have a deeper rooted belief as to why I'm actually doing this. And this is the reason why I'm still here talking to you guys. It's the same reason why I go out consistently, even though I had a burnout. Probably I still go out more than any of you guys here, because my why is strong enough. Okay, if your why is not strong enough, then there's no point why you're doing this, because again, you're wasting your time. Okay, it's all about time. The time that you sitting around, you're watching fucking videos on YouTube, you doing all this research, you're choding around, you could be focusing on business, you could be focusing on health, on wealth, and all that stuff, and you deluding yourself thinking that you are improving your skill set and you're going out consistently, but then are you getting the results that you want? Okay, you have to be really honest with yourself. So with me, when I got into game, I was super honest. I was like, well, I'm fucking around here, I don't have anything going for me, I have to get this down, and that's what motivated me to go out. Whereas now the reasonings have changed, and that's what's still motivating me to go out. Does that make sense? So you really, really have to be honest with yourself, okay? It's easy to, again, put up your hand and say, yes, I'm this, yes, I'm that. But again, when you go home and you're trading, the only person you're lying to is yourself.
Yeah, the way I see it, so let's use this whiteboard here. Okay, so
the surgical whiteboard.
Yeah, so the way I see it is you first get into it and you have your why, which we all talk about, everyone talks about it. But what's funny is this is so spoken about in self-development, but people still don't even take 5 minutes to sit down and write down their why. It's like in every single book in the world around self-development, but people just don't take 5 minutes to think to themselves, why am I doing it? Okay, so you have your why, you have your superficial reasons, and this might spark it, or your non-superficial reasons. Okay, the superficial reasons for your why might be to impress your friends. Okay, whatever gets you to take action, it doesn't matter if it's a dirty reason. Okay, this inspired me to take tremendous action. Just the fact of trying to impress my friends, like that took me to take tremendous action. Then eventually you have your non-superficial reasons. Okay, maybe that's to be a better version of yourself, to be a better person, more confident, happier, whatever that is. And once you have your why handled, then eventually you have your whatever goals you have in this community, whatever goals you specifically have. And then the scary thing is, then you start to achieve these goals, and then you go back to the first thing, and then your why changes, okay? Because the only thing scarier than not achieving your fucking goals in this game is actually achieving them. Okay, it's very, very scary, because then you're just like, now what? Like, there's two main times I've been depressed in my journey of game. It was before game, and then when I got all the results that I wanted in game. Like, both equal sadness, emptiness, and it's just like, what the fuck, what's the point of this? Okay, then what happens? You go back to your why. Then it probably comes down to now a non-superficial reason. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And again, as Tumi was saying, let me write this in blue. I mean, you either, whatever's going to motivate you, whatever's going to motivate you here. So you either have your, your negative or positive motivation. Okay, so I don't know who's motivated here by pain. Let's say that they,
past pain or future pain.
by whatever it is, by negative emotions. Okay, who's motivated by positive emotions? Okay, by negative or positive, I mean, let's say, for example, does this statement motivate you? Like, if you don't get this handled, you're going to be a loser for the rest of your life. Who feels motivated by that? Okay, so there's a few people motivated as well. Who feels, if you get this handled, you're going to get your dream girl? Okay, so there's more people motivated by positive emotions. But once you find out what motivates you, like, really use it. For me, what motivates me is negative emotions. Thinking like, if I don't go out, or if I don't work on my skill sets, or if I don't do this and this, I'm going to remain a loser for the rest of my life. Okay, I'm not going to get the results I want. That used to motivate me. Okay, if you know what motivates you, then use it, play with it. And like, I used to say this to myself in the mirror, like almost every day. Like, you're going to be a fucking loser and you're not going to get any girl. Okay, I used to say that stuff. So again, the positive stuff didn't motivate me at all. Oh, you're going to get your dream girl. Okay, that didn't work for me. But once you know what works for you, then use it. It's like, really paint the picture. So for the negative emotions, think about the absolute worst case scenario. So for me here, it's the nightmare. Okay, so what's the nightmare of all this stuff? I want you guys to think right now, let's say, for example, okay, just have this thought process. So even close your eyes. Everyone just keep your eyes closed. Okay, yeah. So I want you to think right now, your life, okay, the way it is, I want you to think 3 months into the future if you don't work on the skill set. Okay, 3 months, you don't get this handled. Okay, you're starting to develop negative habits. 3 months into the future, and you look back at your last 3 months, are you happy with the achievements you've made? You've made 0 achievements. Are you happy with the person you're becoming? Imagine yourself looking in the mirror. Are you happy with the person that you're looking at? You've made negative progress. Okay, you've made negative changes. Your habits are starting to instill. You're making these negative choices. Imagine yourself 1 year into the future. 1 year of having these negative thought patterns, these negative changes in your life. Okay, these negative habits. Imagine yourself 1 year of having negative habits, not going out, not working on yourself. Okay, imagine the progress that you're making, the lack of progress. Imagine the results that you wanted slowly starting to drift away. Okay, it's slowly drifting away from you. Okay, you look in the mirror 1 year, okay, into the future. Negative changes, negative progress. Okay, your thoughts, your goals are starting to fade. Are you happy with the person that you're looking at? Now I want you to think 5 years into the future. Okay, you're 5 years older than you are right now. 5 years. Okay, now all of a sudden, these negative habits, these negative thought processes have become a part of you. This is who you are. Your goals are gone. Okay, your dreams have faded. Everything that you wanted is just over. Okay, you look in the mirror, and now you're thinking to yourself, are you happy knowing that you look at yourself and you failed? You know that you failed. You know that you could have made changes, but you ultimately failed. You look at yourself, are you happy? Okay, do you look miserable? Do you look depressed? Okay, so now I want you guys to open your eyes, and I want you to realize that that is the default. Okay, the default is just going there unless you make changes. And to me, I used to sit, and whether you want to call this meditation or whatever, I used to sit and really think to my life in 5 years' time is going to be like that. So every time it was a decision between should I go out or should I go watch a movie with my friends, I remember, oh my God, that's where I'm going. That's the direction I'm going in. If I do this specific habit, that one thing, I linked it so badly to this is my 5 year negative self. So I would have such strong links to, oh my God, that movie means I'm going in that direction. Now again, you don't have to see it like this, but you want to see it like almost like, okay, well, if you conditionally, if you over time do those tasks, you're just going towards that person. They have a clear vision of who that person actually is, this negative person, the person that's, because again, there's a few paths you're going to make. Everyone believes they're going to achieve their goals and everything, in game, and everything. The default is failure. So you need to understand that there's a few paths that you can take, and little things that you decide to do are going to impact which path you have. There's one part of you, there's one future where you achieve your game goals, and there's 10 other futures where you don't. Okay, so that to me is pretty scary stuff. So the thing is, also what you want to think to yourself is your 5 year future. Maybe the negative stuff doesn't motivate you. Think about the opposite. We don't have to do that exercise, but think about 5 years if you do get all of this handled. Okay, 5 years from now, that person that's going to have social skills, the person that's going to have all the girls that he wants, okay, the person that's going to be confident, competent, okay, maybe that motivates you. And always think to yourself, do what you need to do now according to what, like the way I see it. So this is my future self. Let's say my 5 year future self, the guy that's like crushing it with life, crushing it with everything, crushing it with girls, whatever it is. That 5 year future self, what is he doing with his life right now? Because every time I need to make a decision, should I go, whatever it is, smoke weed or whatever. I mean, I haven't smoked for 6 years, but let's just say, for example, should I smoke weed? Is my future self doing it? No. Well, then I can't afford to do it. Because if I do it, that means I'm not going towards that person. So what I would recommend at home is you think to yourself, how does this person live? What qualities does he have? Your future best self. What qualities does he have? Who is he hanging out with? If your future self in 5 years from now is hanging out with certain types of people, why would you choose to not hang out with those type of people now? It doesn't make sense. You're just cutting yourself in the foot. It's just like you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. Your future self isn't doing it. So all you're doing is slowly you're going down a different path. Okay? And to me, this stuff is very scary. I know in 5 years' time, the person who I want to be is hanging out with. So I can't afford to hang out with someone that he's not hanging out with. Okay? So that's who I compare myself to. I compare myself to my future self in 5 years from now. Okay? That's who I'm always thinking. I'm not thinking like, will this guy do it or will that role model I have? Will my 5 year future best possible self do something like that? If not, then I just can't afford to do it. That's pretty much how I make decisions in like, should I do this? Shouldn't I? Should I go smoke weed with my friends? If yourself in 5 years is doing that activity, then don't judge, then do it. Okay, but you can't lie to yourself. Like, I have this on a piece of paper, my 5-year and my 10-year self. So I know who my future self is. And whenever I'm faced with the dilemma of like, should I do this? Oh, but they're my old friends. Maybe I should hang out with them. Maybe I shouldn't. It's a very easy question. The person that I want to be in 10 years, is he hanging out with those types of people? Is he doing those activities in his life? If the answer is no, then I just don't do it. Okay, it's as simple as that. That's how I hold myself accountable. So
yeah, and it's not even about comparing yourself to your future, your 5-year self or your 10-year self, because your future self is created by what you're doing today. Okay, so the reason you have to think about yourself in the future is because the action steps that you take now is exactly what's creating that person in the future. So if you're smoking weed and fucking doing all the shit instead of going out and working on yourself, okay, your 10-year you is exactly what's going to be happening, what you're doing now. So you have to focus, and it's so important. Like it's probably like the most important thing besides just taking action is visioning who your future self is, because the action steps that you take now are going to directly relate to what's going to happen into the future. So if you're just taking random action steps, you're just having random experiences, you're just doing random things on a daily basis, then your future self is going to be that random person. Okay, so it's like more important than just taking action and doing this and doing that. You need to think, the action steps that I'm taking now, is it going to take me one step closer to that person in the future?
Yeah, and it's like this whole visualization thing. That's why it's like all these things, like, should I do this? Shouldn't I? Should I hang out with old friends? Should I do this? Should I? It's so weak. It's such weak mindsets, because like it should be such a simple decision. There's no like this, that. It's like, would the person that I want to be do that? The answer is yes or no, and then you just don't do it. Okay, the people that aren't into this, the people that aren't into growth and self-development, they can worry about, oh, what about this person, that dynamic, this dynamic? No, it should be a simple question. Keep things simple so that it's easy for you. Okay, keep things very simple. And I know a lot of people struggle with this. When I got into game, I said to myself, all my old habits I'm stopping doing. So I used to play PlayStation, I used to smoke weed, I used to get drunk. Okay, all of these things. I'm not saying they're good or bad. It's just that for me, my future self isn't doing any of those things. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, I'm not saying it's good or bad. If you want to smoke weed, if you don't, that's up to you. You might have a different idea of who your future self is compared to me. Okay, but don't say that you want to succeed in this game. Your future self is crushing it with girls, but then when a time comes to going out, you rather choose to watch a movie. Okay, then you're lying to yourself. Okay, it's a complete lie. Okay, so I think that's important. Like, and again, it might not be such a happy thought to have. Like, everyone rather wants to just live in the moment. Like, I don't know, now I'm just having fun. Now I want to watch a movie. Now I want to do this. To me, that's what girls do. Okay, girls, they're emotional. They live in the moment. We shouldn't. Okay, we should fucking plan. We should execute properly. Okay, we can't afford to always just live in the moment like that. Okay, so I think really go home and think to yourself, like, who do you want to become? What type of goals do you want to have in this game? Because everyone just says, I can go up to a beggar, a homeless guy, and ask him, do you want to make $1 million? Okay, and of course he's going to say yes. Okay, of course he's going to say yes. But he's still going to do everything that doesn't show me that he doesn't want to do that. So if I ask any guy, do you want to get all the girls and achieve the results that you want? Of course they're going to say yes. Okay, but they're just lying to themselves. And that's what I see consistently over time. It used to frustrate me. Now it's just like, okay, well, that's just how most guys are. Okay, but there's no reason why you guys have to do that or be that person. I think this stuff is important. It's more important than talking about the techniques. Like, look, that's my speciality. I can talk about all of that shit for hundreds of hours. Qualification, push-pull, all of that shit. I mean, very important stuff. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. If we had a whole seminar now, which I used to do all the time, just about theory, qualification, whatever it is, push-pull, attraction, we talk about that stuff, but then you go home and you don't know your whys, it doesn't matter, you just stop going out. Okay, so who cares if you learned a technique or anything?